Hello, my name is Erica. I'm the millennial.
Hi, I'm Angie, the Gen Z.
And today we're going to do something a little special. I sent Angie down and I was like, Angie.
Oh, she asked if I had a story.
Yeah. Basically, I was like, Angie, you got a story? She's like, yes, I'm working on it. And I'm like, well, you know what? We're going to record a little early today because things are going down next weekend. Right, Angie?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I know I'm going to do something next weekend. So, which is why I was like, Angie, let's record a little earlier. So I sat her down. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell something. We're going to discuss about something. Right, Angie?
Like the last time when we said we're going to just branch off one topic.
Yeah, so it's my turn today to speak to Angie again. It's my turn.
It's your turn.
It's my turn. I'm excited. Are you excited?
I am pretty excited.
You're excited to listen to what I have to tell you?
I read it in a little bit on your story.
How dare you?
And I like it already.
It was a surprise.
It's a good story.
It was a surprise.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't read all of it.
Alright, good. Yeah, because there's some more things. So today's topics are, because we're not doing a creepypasta today.
Mm-mm.
So, because I don't know about creepypastas. I'm not in that community, right, Angie?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a part of that community. I'm uneducated on creepypastas, so I'm not touching that subject. Mm-hmm. That's something that Angie's gonna be talking about.
Exactly.
I did a little research on something. My research is basically today's topics is about dolls. About dolls. Yes, about dolls.
I love dolls. You know I love dolls.
I know your room is full of dolls.
I know. It's I have dolls hanging on my wall.
You weirdo.
I have the old you know, the Annabelle doll.
Yeah.
I have the original Annabelle doll, not the original.
The Raggedy Ann doll.
Raggedy Ann, and I have Raggedy Andy next to her, and they're like crucified.
Gosh. Well, you know what? We're gonna be talking about Annabelle today.
Oh my god, I love her.
Yes, but that's like towards the end-ish. Yeah, and
okay,
that was actually something I was gonna say toward the end, but you got a little ahead of us.
I'm sorry.
But that's all right.
I got excited. That's
no,
why.
You're good. You're good. We can bring it back up again.
Yes, we can. I
All
love
right.
my dolls. I name them.
Yes. So today we're talking about dolls, and the first thing we're gonna talk about is: have you ever heard of the island of dolls?
Yeah, in Mexico.
Or yes.
Yeah, I have.
La Isla de las Muñecas.
Yeah, it's so sick. I like it.
Nice. Okay, well, this is the first portion of the topic we're talking about today. So in the south of Mexico City, so between the canals of Xochimilco, in the Champa of the Lengua de Tequilais, this is where you can find the island of dolls. The small island is home to hundreds of some scary looking dolls. They hang from trees all around the island. Some of them are missing limbs, some are decapitated, and they're basically just weathered down. So just think of like dolls covered in like
I know what you mean.
Yeah, some are probably have like their eyes shut, or you know,
or
one shut, one open. Yeah, so it's kind of just like this, just like weathered down dolls.
Okay.
So the history behind the island all began when Don Julian Santana Barrera, so he's the caretaker of the island, he found the body of a drowned little girl floating in the river. Julian then saw a floating doll near the canals. He assumed that the doll belonged to the girl, so he hung up the doll as a memorial or a way to commemorate the little girl. He hung it up on one of the trees. It is said that Julian was being haunted by the little girl's spirit. So to keep the spirit happy, he kept hanging more dolls. Soon he realized that the dolls themselves were possessed by the spirits of dead girls, and continued to collect creepy dolls, hanging them all over the entire island to please them all. Those close to him actually mentioned that he seemed a little too driven in hanging the dolls around the island. He seemed a little too kind of obsessed with it. He kept collecting and adding more dolls for 50 years before he passed. He was then found drowned in the same spot he claimed he had found the little girl. It is said that his spirit now has joined those spirits around the island. And after Julian's death in 2001, it has basically just become a tourist attraction. So visitors go and they bring their own dolls as well, and they hang them whenever they visit the island. Legend says that the little girl's spirit possesses the dolls, and it causes movements of the dolls. So they either turn their heads or they move their limbs around, they twist, and some have even said that they've also seen them open and close their eyes, basically just flutter. Some witnesses claim that they've also heard the dolls whisper to each other, while others who are on a boat, just cruising by, they've said that the island seems to kind of lure them in with all the dolls hanging around. Can you imagine just on a boat, just sailing right next to the island, and you're just turning and seeing all those dolls just stare at you? And then if imagine just seeing all those dolls basically just follow you as you keep going. because the dolls like move, right? That would be a little eerie, no?
It would, but like I mind my business, so I pretend I didn't say anything.
You pretend you wouldn't see anything.
Of course why would I do that? Why would I bring attention to it? I'd be like, I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I mean, after knowing like the history about it, it for me kind of seems like it's a bit of like a kind of like a cemetery in a way.
It is. I'm pretty sure it is.
If he's commemorating like the little girls, basically like the children with those dolls, and other people also bring like dolls too, and they leave them there, and they might leave like an energy there or something.
Like a memorial.
So it's kind of just like, out of respect, do not step off foot on that island,
Yeah. Or like if you do step a foot, leave it all.
Leave a doll. Yes, maybe that's why they do it too, because it probably feels wrong if they just come and just look around and not.
I mean, I feel bad if I did that. Yeah, I need to give you a doll.
Yeah, right. It's like, okay, like if a little spirit is here,
a little present, just in case.
Show you my basically, respect. Like a little sacrifice.
Okay.
For the spirits there. All right. Here's a big twist, though. Many of Julian's family actually say that there was never a body of a little girl found. They say that he made that story up.
For why?
I don't know.
Just because?
Yep. They say he made it up, and it doesn't really help when his case, when you actually take into consideration that he left his wife and his family in the mid 20th century. So like in like the 1900s, like around there, right? Like in the middle of there. He left his family and his wife to isolate himself on the island, where he started collecting and hanging dolls. He basically declared himself the caretaker of the island. So whether Julian did find the little girl or not, his obsession kind of created a really cool and interesting destination, like a tourist destination spot. Because I mean, ever since like the word spread that the island's there with dolls hanging around with them, it's like a kind of like a little curiosity, and you want to go see. So yes, I mean, like there's been like a lot more like tourists going there, and I'm pretty sure that benefits like the economy there, right? Because they go, and then if they have like little shops there or they don't, either way, like they probably pay like the boatsmen to like take them there, So I mean, like there's more revenue going in, so it kind of helps the little economy there, right? Any thoughts on that, Angie? Would you go? Yeah, we talked about this, right? You would take a little doll just.
Yeah, I would, but I would take a little doll just in case,
Yeah.
I would feel bad. But yes, I would definitely go because I like dolls. And not just because I like dolls, because I'm really curious to see like what the people are talking about. Like, oh, is it true that the dolls do move, or like you can hear them whispering amongst each other?
Yeah.
And, like I just want to feel like the energy there, because I'm a person that like I feel energies.
Oh my gosh! Can you imagine just like how? Because some of them
you already know how I am.
Yeah, and then also like how some spirits do attach themselves to some items.
Yeah.
So I mean, can you imagine some like the tragic things that the spirits have like been through or witnessed?
I feel really sad.
Right? Yeah.
Especially since most likely they're children.
Yeah.
Little girls. It's really more sad.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the first part of our doll. Of our doll topic for today. The next one that we're going to talk about is another little haunted doll. We're going to talk about one doll in particular. Her name is Lily. And Lily is an 1800 German doll with real human hair. I guess apparently that was not uncommon back then.
Yeah.
So dolls would have like human hair. Yeah, I did not know that. I thought that they all had like fake hair or like horse hair, but they have real human hair. And thinking about that now, I'm like, well, I mean, they actually have a part of a real human, so most likely they probably kept that energy with it.
Oh yeah.
So it would make it easier to have that doll as a vessel, right? Of a spirit. Yeah, I had no idea.
I heard that parents would make dolls mostly out of their children's hair, like after they pass away, because back then, like how it was like really prone for children to die of diseases.
Oh yeah.
So like the parents would make like a doll with their child's hair, like as a remembrance.
Oh, that makes sense. And if they died like in a really painful way or something, then they might have. Then it might like have a higher chance of them to be stuck in that doll. Ah, interesting. I did not know that. That's pretty cool, Angie. Okay, so Lily's story begins with her being discovered in an antique shop in Salem, Oregon.
Oh, so close.
Yeah, we were so close. And she actually started getting like a lot of like attention after the one and only Zach Beggins found her.
Oh, okay. It's always Zach.
It's always Zach, huh? Always Zach, yeah. So, the antique dealer that had found Lily had actually found her in an antique chest. And he took her to his house because he thought, cool, it's a little doll.
It's a cool doll.
Yeah, it's a doll. He soon began to have nightmares about a little girl. Yeah, that's where it happens, That's where it all begins. It's kind of when you kind of realize that something's going on, right? Like a little haunting, right? 'Cause people, like, when they're experiencing a hauntings.
Oh, yeah. After
have like nightmares and stuff, right?
After collecting, like, or just, like, keeping something that you found.
Yeah.
Yeah, I expect that.
You expect that? Okay. So, yeah, he began having nightmares about the little girl with a bad accident. And the details of the death were too disturbing to reveal, so he didn't really, like, share that. He soon put the doll in his antique shop, and it wasn't long before a little girl who was visiting the antique shop with her parents spent 3 hours having a conversation with Lily. It was like if she was having a conversation with an actual child, okay. like a living person.
Yeah.
And after their conversation, she kind of just said that Lily had lived a very violent life. So I guess Lily was telling her life story.
Yeah.
And it wasn't long before that Zach had expressed his interest in the doll. How he found it, not sure. Maybe the owner posted something about it. I didn't really see that. And Zach found it. So when he bought it, right?
Oh. Okay.
And the individual that had to pack the doll up for Zach was actually very disturbed when she had to pack the doll up, because from what I remember, they said that they had actually put the doll somewhere a little high up, so they wouldn't interact with it that much because they kind of felt uncomfortable around it. And the lady that actually had to package the doll,
yeah,
for Zach, she had actually said that she just needed to wash her hands. I guess she felt an energy on there. She just wanted to cleanse her hands up from them.
Yeah.
She also experienced some really intense stomach pains after contact with the doll.
Yeah.
And I mean, after seeing all the movies and all the documentaries that I've seen, having some sort of pain associated after having contact with a haunted object, then it's kind of it's kind of I was gonna say normal, but I mean it's kind of a little expected when you're dealing with something, especially if the doll or the spirit on the doll kind of knew that they were trying to get rid of her. That she was kind of just
I'm assuming she doesn't like adults.
Oh, me? What do you know? I never thought of that.
Girl, I'm assuming that she grew up in a violent household, or she had a violent life because of adults, and that's why she was just talking to the little girl, because she saw it's another little girl, it's my friend.
I never thought of that, Angie. I don't know. It's just I don't know. I just never thought of that. But that's a really good theory.
I'm assuming that she probably most likely doesn't like men, because that's how most children.
Yeah, but the individual packaging her up was a woman.
Yeah, but all she experienced was pain, no?
Yeah, she's...
And the guy, experienced, horrible nightmares. Well, I don't know. I'd rather feel pain for, a few seconds than experience really bad nightmares for a couple of days.
I would rather have neither.
Oh.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I wouldn't have
anyways.
neither. Okay, Angie.
Okay.
Okay. Alright. So, I mean, all this info that I'm just telling you about Lily can actually be found on Zach Beggins' Haunted Museum Facebook page. He has a really cool paragraph there about the doll's history and how he came to have it. It's also on some of his Instagram pages too. And it's actually pretty interesting reading some of the comments, because you can actually read some of the interaction people have had with the doll in the museum, and you can actually read some of the interactions people have had with the previous owners in the antique shop.
Yeah.
They have their own little stories to share.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting reading through the comments and seeing. But according to the comments, some of it's quite uncomfortable being in the same room as Lily. From what I've heard, from what I've read, it's a little uncomfortable for some people.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's actually quite interesting. I don't know if I would want to go into that museum. Because, he has so many stuff in there. His collection is huge, and it's a lot of haunted items. I don't know if I would want to, because it's also, I'm pretty sure he also, has you sign, a waiver or something saying that you can't sue if something attaches to you, or if, you just have an experience, if you get, scratches or something, or if you get pains, or you start, or if you faint. Because I've read or I've heard that people, faint, they have. And also, there is one in the comments saying that she actually got scratched. By what? I don't know. She had 3 scratch marks in her back.
You know what 3 always means?
Yes.
Have you heard of it?
It's when the D word. I don't want to say that. I
I
don't
know.
want to say it.
Yeah, but
because they say that you should not be saying that
word
in your own home. It's kind of calling to it. So
okay.
it's a D word.
And yes, that's what it means supposedly.
Yeah, and basically they're just mocking.
That's like the mark of the beast.
Yeah, and they're also just and it always happens in 3 because they're mocking the Son,
the Father,
and the Holy Spirit. Yeah, so they basically mock it. So that's why they do everything in 3. So 3 scratch marks. It's something always happens at 3 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
And if like they're ever banging or something, there's 3 bangs.
Oh yeah,
so.
3 knocks.
Yes, so it's kind of scary. So yeah, so I did read that. So I mean, you can't do anything of that if you have an experience like that. And yeah, basically just saying, going at your own risk. It's really interesting to watch and see everything, but everything does have an energy, and they do have displays. They're saying do not touch or anything like that,
or do not disrespect.
Not disrespect, yes.
Do not interact.
Yeah. So yeah. So Lily the doll is in the museum, and she's up on display for visitors to see. So that's the story about Lily the doll. Yeah, interesting, huh?
Yeah, it kind of makes me sad, not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah, because then I think too deep into it, like, oh, like that child suffered, and like no wonder she's like, it's not really evil because it's a child. I don't think children are evil, well, like up to a certain age.
Yeah.
And especially since they're so small, they don't deserve it. So I feel like her reason for hurting people is not really valid because you shouldn't hurt people, but I understand why, especially adults, because you saw. From with the little girl, she was just having normal conversation, but when it always came to adults, she would make them uncomfortable or like hurt them in some way.
Yeah.
And now I just feel bad because she's just trapped there. Her soul is just trapped there.
Yeah. Huh.
I kind of wish that they could like put them to like help them pass on instead of just keep them there.
True. But who knows how you would help them pass on?
Yeah.
In that case.
But yeah, it is an interesting story. I liked it a lot. I like dolls.
You like dolls?
I'm sorry, I needed to bring that up. It's so cool.
All right, Angie.
I like dolls.
All right, so now we're gonna talk about our third little story about the third doll, and it's the famous Annabelle. Annabelle. We all know the story of Annabelle.
Oh yeah.
Or at least we all should.
Yes.
Annabelle is the inspiration of some of the Conjuring Annabelle films. So Annabelle is a Raggedy Ann doll, which you said that you have, right?
I do.
A Raggedy Ann doll, and you also have a Raggedy
Andy.
Oh, Andy.
Yes.
Raggedy
I think they're
Andy
siblings.
Doll. You think so?
Yeah, because why would they look the same and have like similar names?
Yeah.
But in cartoon lore, like if you make the parents like siblings, then you know they're together.
Stop.
Like in The Simpsons.
Stop it.
Okay.
Angie, stop.
You know I'm right.
Okay.
Patrick's parents.
Angie, stop. Stop it.
Okay.
Maybe they want to get with the same species.
Oh, okay. Continue.
Okay, Angie. But yeah, so you have a Raggedy Ann doll. So her story begins with Annabelle being given to a nursing student. How the nursing student got Annabelle, I'm not sure. I didn't look into it. Let's just begin her story with that nursing student and her mother, because they both got Annabelle.
Yeah.
So the nursing student is called Donna. She had moved, and she moved in with a roommate.
Yeah.
And whenever her and her roommate would leave the apartment or would leave their living arrangement, I'm not sure if it was a house or an apartment.
Yeah.
And whenever either go to classes or go out or anything, by the time they would come back, they would actually find Annabelle in different locations. So if she was in one room, she would end up in the living room.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then they would just kind of see her different places. They would also find little notes asking for help. Like scribbled, like little notes, like
a child
like
writing.
if somebody had written that down, there were the only 2 people there, and they were gone, and then by the time they would come back, they would see a note there, so it wasn't them. So this kind of activity happened for about like a year, and that was a year before Ed and Lorraine Warren actually took Annabelle with them, and they actually just put her in their occult museum. Remember the time when Annabelle escaped?
Yeah,
that was
and people were making memes
and TikToks.
Yeah, I do remember. I remember I was kind of scared, but then I was like, "They'll catch her."
They'll catch her. Yeah, that's actually.
Yeah, I remember when she was. I wouldn't say it's funny, but like, it's kind of funny. Because imagine how Annabelle was. She was her like, hey, suckers, running around.
There's actually a really funny TikTok on this one guy. He would do like this skit when he was Annabelle, and then he would just call up and be like, and he would call up like the devil.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like,
I'm
he's
back.
like, guess what? He's I escaped, and he just started laughing, and it's just.
I've seen that.
And then there is one where like the pastor comes. He's like, I'm gonna take you back, Annabelle. She's like, no, and then he throws holy water on her or something, and they start fighting. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh. I remember it.
That was like what, like when COVID started. So that was when everybody was like
out.
quarantined, and everybody was like stuck at home, and everyone just had no business doing nothing, you know, right? Because they didn't have anything to do, so they were just like freaking out because they were all like, first COVID, now Annabelle escapes. What's next? I don't honestly. That was all a blur for me. I don't even remember what else happened after that, but I'm pretty sure something else happened.
I'm pretty sure a lot of things happened after that. Betty White died.
Did
That's
she
way
really?
before. Betty White has been dead, Erica.
Really?
Yeah. Have you not seen the memes where it's like God saying to the angel, bring me the queen, and they brought Betty White instead of the actual queen of London?
No.
Because you know how like Betty White is like so loved?
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah.
Golden Girls. I love her.
Wow, and you know, I had
And
no
then-
idea.
The queen died.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Dude, that was a little something, huh?
That was eventful.
That was eventful.
Sometimes I forget that she's dead.
Huh?
Sometimes I forget the queen's dead.
Oh yeah, she's been alive for so long.
It's been like longer than I have. Than you.
Yeah.
Probably longer than my parents too.
Yeah.
Probably your
She was still thinking of thriving.
Girl. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm. Alright. So now we have our fourth and final doll.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be talking about Robert the doll.
I love Robert.
Have you heard of Robert?
I have heard of Robert.
I think he's the one that inspired Chucky, right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause it's a
Little.
Chucky's a killer doll, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if Robert the doll is a killer doll.
From what I remember,
Probably.
he's... I can continue.
Okay. I don't have much on Robert the doll, but
Okay. Just give us a little sprinkle.
yeah. So Robert came to the Otto family of Key West, Florida, in the early 1900s.
Mm-hmm.
He was a gift for the youngest son, or I think he was probably the only son, for Robert Eugene Otto.
Mm-hmm.
So the boy and the doll became inseparable, and the child would often like blame any like little like mischief on Robert. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he would just blame him. The family alleged that the toy would often seem to change positions by itself. Like I guess kind of like a little Annabelle in there, you know, just like kind of move from like the chair or something. And then the parents also claimed that their son, when he was alone in his room, that they would hear conversations with the doll. And that the doll would be responding in a completely different voice. Like they would hear voices in Eugene's room, and they were kind of freaked out because you know they were all like, "Well, only one in there is Eugene and Robert, like the doll." So they were not expecting that.
I wonder like what kind of voice. Like is it another little kid voice or like a grown man voice?
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Imagine hearing a
I
grown
don't
man
wanna
voice
hear.
in your child son's room.
I would run in there,
Me too.
kick the door open.
I'm like,
What's
what?
going on here? We'd literally be freaking out. What's going on here? Checking everywhere.
Me too.
The closets, everywhere underneath the bed.
I'd be
What?
terrified.
You know?
Oh, off topic. Have you heard of so you know how parents sometimes put cameras in like their children's room? Like of course like they're like little children though.
Yeah.
So there are instances where the camera, it's a Ring camera by the way. It's like a normal Ring camera.
Okay. Like the one we have in our in our living room.
Yeah, so they would put that in their children's room, and there were a lot of instances where like Ring cameras were getting hacked.
Oh, so then like the people would be talking through the Ring camera, right?
Yeah,
and
like,
you would hear voices.
and like they would. Well, it's like it's obvious that they could watch the child because they'd be like, "Hey, what are you doing there?" And then like the child's like, "I'm not supposed to talk to strangers."
First of all, that's so awkward. I would not muster up the courage to be speaking to anybody in the first place. Why would they give themselves away like that?
Because people are weird. I feel like it's creepy because why watch a little girl?
I would have. That's just terrible. First of all, I could not be watching somebody else.
In fact, a child. A
random
child that you
child.
don't know. And it's in her private bedroom.
In her private bedroom, and you just all of a sudden speak to her. It's just so weird. Or him, you know, it's just so weird. Like I couldn't barely talk to people in real life.
But imagine being the mother. I feel like horrible.
Yeah, I'd feel like
feel
so bad. I would
horrified.
like disconnect that quick.
Oh yeah, like
Disconnect it quick.
like the girl is like she is around like 8, I think. think that's why she's at the age where like you can give her privacy, but like just in case like you watch it on the camera, and I think that's okay. But a lot of people were getting upset saying it's the parents' fault because children deserve privacy. But I think somewhere I think the parents put that the daughter, one of the daughters, because it was like 2-bedroom. I mean two like little beds.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming she shares the room with like one of her siblings.
Yeah.
But it was just that little girl in there. That little girl, I'm pretty sure, or like the other sibling suffers from like epilepsy or just seizures in general. So like they have to like just keep a watch on her.
Oh my gosh. Ooh.
I don't know. But yeah, that's what it reminded me of. Yeah, that's scary.
That is scary. But see, back then, like, it was 1900s, like, nobody had that.
There's no cameras.
And it's like, yeah. It's like, so who else could it be? Either a stranger that ran into your kid's room.
Or a spirit.
Or, yeah. So, yep, there's that. And then, so Eugene grew up, right? He ended up moving out. He left Robert there. He found a wife. And then I think when his parents passed away, he actually ended up moving into that house again.
Yeah.
With his wife. Yeah, his wife actually thought that, because, you know, things were still happening. It was really active in the house.
Oh, yeah.
I think it got to a point where the wife was like, you know, what are you going to do? Are you going to leave the doll? Or are you going to leave me? You know, what's going on? And he was like, I'm not going to leave Robert. Or I'm not going to get rid of Robert, you know? Because he was just so close to it. I mean, it was his childhood friend. Like,
it reminds
something...
me of Laughing Jack.
Laughing Jack. Oh.
With the happy ending, I guess.
Oh my gosh,
really
stop.
happy
With a happy ending.
Not really. Right. You continue.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, after Eugene's death in 1974, Robert was actually given to the East Martello Museum. And it's actually said that visitors who have picked his picture without permission, they claim to have like really bad luck. After either bad luck or bad misfortune, something happens to them.
Yeah, I heard like almost getting into a car crash.
Yeah, like either almost getting into a car crash or something happening to them. Yeah, like something really bad happening to them. So as a result for that, Robert is now surrounded by letters of apology and admiration. So basically, if you're gonna take a picture, you have to ask for permission because if not, then I don't want to get cursed either. I wouldn't want to get cursed.
But how do you know if he accepts your offer? Like,
I don't know.
Hey, can I take a picture of you? And he just sits there silently, or does he speak to you?
I have no idea.
I wonder.
Well, I'm assuming he spoke to Eugene, but maybe he only spoke to him because he was special, because he was his first, or because he
was a child,
and he had him there with him.
Yeah.
But no, that's it. That's it today. For today, girly, that's all I got. That's all the research I did, all of the digging through the web that I was able to come up with in a day.
That's actually, I like this. I like it a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I like dolls, and I find things like that interesting. That spirits or just like things similar to them, because I'm not gonna say the word, can possess like a vessel.
Yeah.
And just attach itself to that. And also, I don't think that Robert or Lily are bad spirits.
Yeah.
Lily is a traumatized little girl, and Robert, I don't know what he is. He's probably a man, grown man, a woman, a little boy, little girl.
Or I've actually seen too, like in documentaries or in other...
Is he a little boy?
That, no. I've seen that. The D words, you know?
Oh.
They can actually imitate something innocent. Especially when they attach themselves to something that basically isn't like in a child's life. So like a doll, right?
But wouldn't they have harmed the child?
What do you mean?
Like, I'm assuming since like if it's considered like a bad spirit, then I'm pretty sure it would have caused harm to something. Well, like and besides the people that didn't ask for his permission, but I feel like that's common courtesy, asking an object that you know holds something for permission before doing something.
Say it again, because I did not get it. Hold on, I did not get it. Because what I'm saying is that, you know, the D words, they imitate a child to get close to a being or to like haunt a being.
I know. I'm saying
so they can like kind of like bring their
make them vulnerable.
So that way the person that has them is a little more trusting, because they think it's like what like Annabelle, right, said, help me.
Yeah.
You know, like that can be something trying to get more permission to enter into the person's life to actually wreak havoc or possibly like possess them. That's what I've seen in documentaries. What were you trying to say?
I was saying, because I'm saying that I don't think Robert is... I'm saying that Robert is not a bad spirit. Personally, I don't think so. Because from what I've heard, from what I've read, I haven't really, like, seen him cause harm to, like, his past owners.
Yeah.
And he only causes harm to, like, random people that take pictures of him without his permission.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen. I'm pretty sure he's not the V word. I'm pretty sure he's just a normal spirit.
That just wants, that he just wants to be acknowledged. He's like, because,
hey.
I mean, you wouldn't like somebody to just go up, take a picture of you, right?
Oh, of course not. Especially if I'm, like, a public...
Especially if it's, like, a weird, like, older guy or, like, a weird older woman. You know, it's like, why are you going to take a picture of me? Like, and just for free. For free? You want to take a picture of me for free? No. You know? So it's like...
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like Lily and Robert are not...
Like, they're not bad. Yeah.
And Annabelle, I'm pretty sure she's a bad spirit. she kind of scares me, but I love her.
She does scare me, yeah. I would be really scared.
Yeah. Isn't her, like, little, like, cage? Not a cage. It's like a glass, like...
It's like a... Yeah.
It's a glass.
It's
you
like
can see her in it.
Yeah.
It's like... Isn't it filled with, like, Bible pages or something?
Probably, yeah.
Or, like... I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it probably would be.
It's blessed.
Filled with
she can't touch it.
Yeah. Probably. Well, I mean, that's all I got for today, Angie. I don't know if you want to say anything else.
No. Maybe that my dog collection is going to continue growing.
Really?
Yes.
Even after this little segment that we had?
Of course.
Even harder.
You want to know a fun fact?
What?
The Amish people, when they get toys or, like, dolls, they don't put, like, faces. They get toys, children toys, like little dollies.
Yeah.
They get them without the face. It's just like a blank face. Because they think that in order for something to possess the doll or like a toy, it needs like something to like see out of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Precaution. I always have precaution.
I like dolls.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Angie, I know what to get you for Christmas now.
A doll.
A doll.
Yes.
You better hang it up.
I will. I crucify them. I'm kidding.
Angie.
No, I don't.
Okay.
But they're just hung up on like a string.
Okay.
I'm just chilling there.
You're gonna end up having your own little like island of dolls in there.
I was thinking of putting my dolls around my walls, but then I was like, what if my parents walk in and they're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Or like one of you guys.
Probably I would. And be like, oh, weirdo. Okay. Awesome. That's it for this week. I'm excited to see what you have for us next weekend, next Wednesday. And you will have something ready for us, right, Angie?
Yes.
A little bossy, huh? But okay. Alright, so for today, thank you all for listening. Please go follow social media accounts, post your thoughts, and follow on your favorite listening platforms so you can get updates on when the new episodes come out. And that's it for today. Bye.
Bye.